مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا.
The Arabic word ablution or wudu, the Arabic word for ablution is wudu, taken from the word wada'a, which means beauty and being nice. And in fact, we don't necessarily need wudu only for prayer. Before we speak to God, we need to be in a state of ablution. However, we can take wudu for anything else. Wudu serves as a refresher, something that freshens us up every now and then. Sometimes we feel lazy, feel relaxed, feel laid back by being engaged in something. And in order to have full concentration and to enter into another state, we need to come in contact with water. Water reflects fitra, primordial nature, the primordial nature of man. Man has been created in such a state that he does not have any taste, he doesn't have any smell, and he doesn't have any color. His heart and his soul is clean, like water. Water doesn't have odor, doesn't have a smell, doesn't have a taste, doesn't have a specific taste. If you mix it with something else, it gives it a taste, but the original taste of water is tasteless. And it doesn't have a color, it's very clear, transparent. However, it is the secret of life, because it energizes the soul. The secret of water, it is two atoms of hydrogen along with oxygen, with one atom of oxygen. An interesting thing is the essence of water is fire. When you analyze it chemically, it's made of fire, because hydrogen on its own is a very burning gas, and oxygen can help increasing fire. If you actually add oxygen to fire, it will increase it, it will not decrease it. So imagine that these two atoms, who separately can be very dangerous, can be very fiery, when they come with each other, they become so cooling, they become so relaxing. The wudu, which is required before we enter into prayer, symbolizes our unity with God. In fact, our unity with God in a spiritual form, that far from God, we might be very powerful earthly wise, but it is very dangerous upon us. That only by the unity with God, we can have this cooling effect. Our souls will become very relaxed. And this unity of God has to be in such a state that our souls are as clean as water. Only by this unity with God, we will find this relaxing and cooling state. But this state has to happen within a condition of tastelessness, colorlessness, and odorlessness, meaning we should not think of anything other than God. We should not connect with anything other than God. We should not allow anything to come into our prayer except God. While we are doing wudu, physical ablution, we should remember these meanings, that we are renewing our primordial nature, that we are preparing our souls to come in contact with God in a way that brings utmost peace. Water, wherever it is, cools the heart. They even say that water, greenery, and beautiful face are three things that remove sadness from the heart. If you look at water, grass, green things, and beautiful faces together, these three, they say ثلاثة تجلي عن القلب الحزن. Three things take away sadness from the heart. الماء والخضرة والوجه الحسن. That water, green things, and beautiful faces. So if you have a beautiful soul and your prayer is your green state in which you get to connect yourself with God, then you need water to add the cooling effect and remove sadness from the heart and from the soul. This is the spiritual aspect of wudu. The physical aspect of ablution or wudu is that it cleans you physically. It cleans the bodily parts that normally come in contact with contamination, that are more subject to viruses and germs. Your hands, your feet, your ears, your face, your hair, your arms. These are the parts that would normally be used a lot during day-to-day businesses, shaking hands with people, touching things, carrying things, looking at things. These are the parts of the body that would normally cause diseases if you don't look after them from a completely physical perspective. Wudu teaches you to clean them, to wash them. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, connected wudu with prayer. And he said, imagine if there is a river in front of you and you wash your limbs 5 times a day from that river. Will there any be dirt or filth in your limbs? They said, no. He said, that's what exactly prayer does to you. It cleanses your limbs and cleanses your body from sins, as ablution cleanses your limbs from filth and dirt. So wudu or ablution is a form of cleansing outwardly from sin and filth, and outwardly from filth and dirt, and it's a way of connecting inside and cleansing inside by connecting it with the original primordial state, which is very similar to the nature of water itself.